Morning guys, hey, it's Len from Mercury Comet Garage and Outdoors. Well, we're indoors today because outdoors we have snow. And we got dumped on yesterday and somewhat today with lake effect snow. I would say we probably got about 8 inches out there, so it's that white fluffy stuff which I like. I don't mind that kind of snow. It's that wet, sloppy, muddy stuff that you can't do anything with. That's the kind of snow I don't like. But this stuff, I don't mind at all. But today we're going to be indoors and we're going to look at the door once again and try to do a little more on that to get it ready for putting back on. And we got a lot to do on that yet. Last I left you, we were doing some welding and, patching some holes and stuff. So we're going to touch base on that a little bit more today. Stay tuned. All right, well, we got the wood stove going, and it's warming up nice in here. Actually, I had it going all night long, so it's pretty decent. It's probably about 60 degrees in here. It's in the low 20s outside. And as far as this foil insulation that I put on the walls around the wood stove, I think it's doing a good job. I don't feel the cold on the wall like I used to. It's just 1/4 inch foil-backed insulation that we had left over from a house project that we did. And I just thought I'd put it up around the wood stove to see what it would do. And I think it's doing a good job. But one other thing I just wanted to touch base on with you guys is, when you're starting fires in a wood stove or a fireplace, I got a little trick here, a little tip. I saw this on a YouTube channel. It's called Kyle's Cabin. Now, this guy is in northern Minnesota, and he's off-grid, and he basically just builds these cabins in the northern woods of Minnesota, lives off the land, really a cool channel. And I saw this on one of his videos. He just takes a box, like so, wads up some paper, puts it inside the box, tapes it up, and then cuts a hole in the side and the top, like that. And that's his fire starter. He just builds up his kindling on top of it, lights it up right in here, and it works great. And I don't know, just a thought. I know a lot of guys use that fire starter, things like that, or just wadded up newspaper in a pile and then put your kindling on top. And that works fine too, but this works really well. So I thought I'd just show you guys and, give it a try if you'd like. All right, guys, well, what we got going on today is, like I said, is the door. And as you can see, I started taking some of the paint off. I still had a lot of that red paint. I don't know if that was original paint or not, but the stuff was on there thick. And I started to do this outside the other day when it was still decent outside. Started taking some of this paint off with a flat disc and various other ways, other methods of getting it off, wire wheels, whatnot. But today, being that we're indoors, we don't want to dirty up the pole barn too bad. I'm just going to use stripper. This is the same stuff that I used a while back on the roof. If you guys remember a video that I did where I removed the paint from the roof. Worked really well. Took some time. Had to let it sit for a while to work in. But obviously this door shouldn't be as difficult because, as you remember, I took this to the sandblasting place and blasted a lot of the paint off. And then I just recoated it with primer just to keep it from getting that flash rust on it. And that should come off really easy. So we'll see. We'll put some of the stripper on here, let it sit, and see what we got. All right, guys, I know you're familiar with this process. It's pretty simple. You just pour it on and let it sit. That's basically all I can tell you. But that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to start small. Pour it on like so. Now, being that it's cold out here, or cooler, in the 60s, we'll see if this stuff works as good as it would if it's in the 70s. So just kind of an experiment here. But just brush it on Basically, that's all you got to do, and just let it sit. So that's what we're going to do here. And this newer stripper doesn't seem to work as well as the old stuff. And they say to brush in one direction only, which I find that hard to do at times because you still miss spots that need, you know, stuff on it. So you got to kind of go over it a few times in different directions. So I don't know. It seems to work either way with me. I'm just going to do one little section here of this curved in portion and let it sit and see where we're at after, I don't know, 10-20 minutes or so. But being you got this curved portion here like this, it kind of wants to run down to the center of the channel, the bottom portion. So it's going to kind of pool down in there. So that's probably where it'll strip off the best, because that's where the most stripper is going to be. But we'll see. All right, guys. Well, as you can see here, the primer that I sprayed on a few weeks back it's starting to bubble up, and the red paint underneath that it's getting kind of soft. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do another coat anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and scrape off what I can of the old primer, and then we're gonna do another coat. You see, I think my biggest problem here is I just don't have a lot of patience with these strippers. And I'm not leaving them on long enough. So I left it on maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15. And like I said, that top primer coat came off, but the red paint, the original paint, I think it is, that's not coming off too well. And who knows, it might not have come off if I left it on longer. But I think that's the key, is you just need to leave this stuff on and let it work. All right, I put another good heavy layer of the stripper on this portion here again. And I also did this curved portion here. So I'm gonna let that sit for 20-25 minutes and we'll see what it does. All right, guys, well, there you go. I think I let that sit about 30-35 minutes, and it's coming off much better now. So it just takes a little bit of patience. All right, guys, well, as you can see, I got my door set up here on my Black & Decker Workmate. And you guys have probably seen this in my videos before, but I don't know that I've talked about it much. I love this thing. I use it all the time when I'm in the shop. It's so portable. You can take it to a job site. You can move it around in the shop. It's got the clamping table on it that you can put stock in and work on it. You can drill, you can sand. I've used this for the whole process for this door, taking the paint off. So I love this thing and I highly recommend it. Black & Decker Workmate. But anyway, I got this door here all down to bare metal, as you can see. I still got some spots here that I'm not going to worry about. I'm just going to grind off with the DA. But everything is down to more or less bare metal. And the paint stripper worked really well, except for I had to do a couple of coats on this red paint because that was on there pretty good. I think that's the original paint. So that was a little tough to get off. But we're going to get going on the DA and the sanding and get this cleaned up down to bare metal and get it painted. we got the door sanded down fairly well, and it's looking pretty good. I think we're getting close to shooting some primer, but got a couple of issues. I noticed a hole right here and another one right there. So we're gonna have to weld those up first. Okay, well, we got those holes welded up, and that worked out really well. That was kind of a concern with me once I got really going on the sanding on this door. I figured I'd come across some other holes, and I surely did. So I think I got them all, and that other one was right here. So we got that fixed, and I'm just gonna continue on with the DA and keep doing that. And I think my DA is starting to act up. It's a central pneumatic DA that I've had for years, and it's kind of acting up. So that one might be on its last leg. So we might be heading to Harbor Freight to get a new one. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm done with this side, and the DA held up. So that was good. But like I said, that thing is getting to be on its last leg. So we will be getting another one, probably from Harbor Freight one of these days, and I'll probably do a review on it, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, we're done with this side for now. I'm not going to paint this side quite yet because I want to do the bottom side first. I want to do this underside of the door first, and we'll be using that 2K primer in a can that I've used before. You guys have seen me paint with that before, and I really like that stuff. And that's what we're going to use again. So hold on for that. All right, guys. Well, we're getting real close to spraying. And you guys have seen me use this before. It's called Spray Max 2K Epoxy Primer. And I've had really good success with this. I really like it. It's just real handy to use. And you don't have to worry about cleanup or anything like that. I don't know, it just seems to work really well, and it's easy. And that's what we're going to do with this inside of the door. We're just going to do this interior portion first, and I'm sure you've noticed that I usually spray epoxy primer black, and this is epoxy primer beige. And that's because they sent me the wrong one. But I'm still going to use it. I have since ordered the black, and I have that, but I don't know that I'm going to have enough for the whole door. So I'm going to start by using this beige on the inside of the door, and I'll probably do maybe 2 coats of it, and then I'll go over it again with the black, and then finish up the other side of the door as well with the black. But like I said, I didn't think I was going to have enough, and I hate to just throw out the beige. You know, I might as well use it. So we're going to try it on the inside of the door. turned out okay. I'm always a little concerned about painting this time of the year when it's kind of cold out. Even though I got the barn warmed up, it's right around 60, 62 degrees in here. It still concerns me with the cold weather and the curing of this paint. So I hope it turns out. I think it will. Another thing is I just don't seem to be getting as much paint in these cans like I used to. The Spray Max 2K primer, it just seems to be coming up short. Because as you can see down here, I got to do this again. I got to have another coat to cover that metal up. You can see it's really thin there. Right here's a spot, and there's other spots on the door too that are thin. And for whatever reason, I'm not able to get as much coverage as I used to with the Spray Max paint. And I don't know why that is. But I thought between the two cans, the beige and the black, I thought I would have enough. This underside is good, but I didn't have enough to finish the top side, and I think one more can will be perfect. So that's the story on that. Yeah, it turned out good. And like I said before, with this 2K in a spray bomb can, you know, it's probably not ideal. It's probably not the best way of doing it, but it's just how I'm doing it to see how it works. And I think once I get these doors mounted and all the body panels mounted on this car, I'll probably go over it again with my air compressor spray gun and, you know, do a real good job of, you know, putting the next coat of primer on. So should be fine. You know, like I said many times, this is not a SEMA car. It's a driver, so we're not going to put a lot of time and money into it. Yeah, guys, like I said, I haven't been real impressed with this Spray Max paint lately. I don't really care for how it's been coming up short. Before it was doing a pretty good job. I don't know what they've been doing lately, but this doesn't seem to be as much paint in those cans as there used to be. So we're going to have to get another can of that, finish up that door, and then we'll go from there, get it put on, and then we'll just try to figure out what the next project's going to be on this car. But it's that time of year. We're going to be indoors. We're going to be in the garage, and we're going to be doing stuff in this car to get her done. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please give me a like. Please subscribe, and leave a comment if you would. All right, guys. Have a good one.